Anything, I would like for us to read a verse in the Bible. Proverbs, Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. So what I will do is that for anyone to answer my question also, I'm going to give them 1,000 naira in Bitcoin. I repeat, I'm going to give them 1,000 naira in Bitcoin. So I need 5 answers to my question. It says, when the righteous increase, the people rejoice. But when the wicked rule, the people frown. And if you see these pictures, you will see the people. And this is a recent picture that was taken. In an economy where there is no stability, there is always a problem. And even the Bible says this, as long as the wicked rules, people tend to drown, they tend to suffer, they tend to complain and all. So, for whatever I'm going to say now, I want all of us to indulge in your research. Don't take my word for it. Ask questions. Because one, I'm not a financial advisor. What I do mainly is to educate and train people on how they can use Bitcoin to do the right thing. So what you will learn today is that you will learn about the problem, because there is a problem in our economy, and it is very important to know this problem, because as a youth, this economy does not favor you. It favors these old people, these people that controls, that makes the law, so they can make law that favors them. But you being the youth, I don't know, no chance for youth. And also we're going to discover the solution to the problem, and the third we're going to discover is getting started with the solution. Like I said earlier, there's a problem. These are youths like I and you, stranded. Most of them are area boys, most of them are doubts because they had no choice and they had to live their life the way they see. So what are the problems? There are a lot of problems that I don't want to state from the start because of time. But the few I can list here is that the first problem we have is, as a youth, is unemployment. How would you as a youth go to school, then go to university, at the end of the day, you tend not to see job opportunity for yourself? How do you want to be a millionaire? How do you want to train your family? How do you want to train your future kids? Do you want to end up being a beggar? That's the question you need to ask yourself. And one problem is that the truth, there is no job. There is job, but the job most times favors some people. And if you don't have connection, you tend not to get that job. So second, there's limited access to banks. If I can ask anyone, how many of us has any bank here? Not everyone has bank, especially the minors. It is majorly the major, like from 18 above, but from 18 below, they tend not to have a bank. And some countries in Africa, female doesn't have a bank, and that's a big problem. Because how do you want me to get a skill, then exchange money for that skill if I don't have a bank? Imagine if I have a foreign client now, and not the bad way of clients, but people that you're working with. Let me say you have a skill, now you studied graphic design like our sister in Kilo, and someone wants to pay you for that your graphic design work, and you don't have a bank. Can you receive payments? No. So that's next story. Inflation and currency devaluation, which discourages us to say. So how many of us, we like I that are youth, can boldly say we have up to 1 million in our accounts? If you know you have 1 million in your account, raise up your hand. So this is not like laughing matter, this is the reality, because at the end of the day, we tend to say we want to buy this, we want to buy that, we want to do this, we want to do that. But at the end of the day, there's no money for us because of inflation. You can't save money now in this world, and like plan for that, plan for long term, because at the end of the day the money tends to lose its value and things tend to rise up in price. So this makes you want to spend your money fast, because every day your money is losing its value. And the other problem that you need to understand is that the government has not the government. Like the problem now is that there are now barriers to starting up a business and saving for the future. So how many of us has a business idea or business plan? None of us might have a business plan, because one, it is now very difficult to have a business plan. Okay, do you have a business plan? You have it. So it is now very difficult to start up a business now. That's the real truth. And there's a lot of barriers to starting up a business. Now, if you want to start a standard business, you can attend there now. So there's a lot of barriers to all this. But what if all these problems exist and we being the youth are not affected with all this? So that's the question we need to be asking ourselves. Even if we learn the skill, can our skill like keep us going when there's still an existing problem? You understand? So what is the problem? Majorly the problem is centralization. I don't know who can. So centralization now simply means a central point where which everything revolves around to. Our current system is centralized. So before anything happens in a system that is centralized, it goes to one person. And if the one person wants, he can make the law that suits him, and nobody can question him. So that's the idea of centralization. And a real example of what centralization is in our current system is the banks. So the banks now have the right to print excess money without your consent. The money you save in your bank, they tend to use your money to trade. And mind you, forex traders now, they collaborate with banks to trade your money and they gain more profit. So that's very, very whack. Yeah. So the government also is a centralized authority. And the other one is all those big banks like PZ. So a good example of what centralization is what is actually going here. So centralized authority has power to print money. And when they are printing money very, very well, our currency devalues. Imagine when pastor comes in and gives us a piece of paper. All of us each, one piece of paper. And he comes again, give us another piece of paper. He comes again, gives us another piece of paper. Everyone with that piece of paper. And now, he comes for the 100th time, gives us another piece of paper. What do you think that paper will be? It will be useless. Because we don't want it and you are giving us more. So when these people are printing the money like every excessive day, the money tends to lose value. So that's why when you go to markets, things goes down, because the way they are printing the money has become very, very much that we have too much money in circulation in our economy with less people using that money. And about 1.4 billion youths are unbanked. They don't have a bank. This is real world statistics. So how do they exchange money? How do they make money? How do they save money? They don't. So that is, they are living without a means of tomorrow. But now, what we the youth now do mostly is to go and protest, go and do stuff. But the other youth that are doing things, they are making it because they have a skill. They have found the truth and now they have made a way for themselves. Who can tell me why the millionaires or the billionaires don't save their money in bank? Because they know this thing that you don't know. Instead, they choose to save their money in real estate. They buy land, they buy house. They invest in you to work for them, to fetch them more money. But they will never save their money in the bank because they know this. But we being an uninformed youth tend to save our money in the bank, and our money is being used for us and we tend to lose our value every day. So for the love of money is a root of all kind of evil. So in a system whereby you control the money, you will develop a love of that money that will make you to commit evil with that opportunity. So you cannot control the love of money. So the next logical question is, where can you store your value where it grows, not disappear every time, even when they print more money? Something that is not just sitting in a bank account and doing nothing. So who have an answer to that question? Yeah. Bitcoin, okay? So when you store your money or your value in something that appreciates, it will pay you. But for a youth who is just growing, someone like me, I'm just growing, I'm not making steady income. And I just want to invest, but I don't know where to start. I do not need to look at what is trending, because I need to focus on what will grow, what will store my value, and also what will appreciate in value, not depreciate. So appreciating in value means increase my value, like my money should increase, not decrease. Depreciate means decrease. So I look at an example of iPhone 16 Pro Max and a plot of land. So currently, I don't know the actual price, but the price is 2.2, let me just say 2 million as a starting value to get an iPhone 16 Pro Max. And this is the plot of land. So you as a youth, which investment will you choose for yourself? Is it to get the iPhone 16 Pro Max or a land?
Everyone is so loud. I just want a little bit of peace.
Well, iPhone 16 Pro Max or a land. So let us look at how our money would be valued when we choose any of the above. So when you choose a land, let us say this green dot represent the land and this red dot represent the iPhone. So now this is 2 million, the starting point of getting either of the two. So when I choose to store on a land, my value increase up, and when I choose to store on a 16 Pro Max, it goes down. Why? Why? Yeah.
Every year, another time the value of land yearly is higher than this iPhone, because I'm this iPhone 16 now. We soon pass. We are entering next year.
For the land, you can gain a lot of food. You can gain a lot of food from land. For example, now you build house from your land. You can rent it and even sell it. But for the phone, you are losing, because when you buy data and to buy something like that, you are losing control.
Let them don't buy data. When everybody sells their land and my land only remains in that particular location, I can increase my price or my value. Forget the fact that the land rate increases every day, but the scarcity in my land gives me more value. And this is a good way for anyone looking to either make the next decision to spend their money on land or iPhone. So your land has more scarcity than the iPhone. So for your iPhone, you tend to lose 25% annually. Every year you are losing 25%. So using compound depreciation, so this is like a kind of calculation. When you buy the phone for 2.2 million naira and you multiply it with the annual depreciation rate, the value of the land in 10 years time, the value of the iPhone in 10 years time is equals to 126,000 naira. So that's in 10 years time, you are losing 94% of your money buying an iPhone 16 Pro Max. Not everyone thinks like this, but it's good for you to know this because it will shape your next decision. But when you choose a land, 159% as a gain, because your land now in 10 years time can be worth 5.8 million. From the 2.5, it gives you 5.8. So youth, most times, the truth there is that youth are not failures. It is not our fault. Because back then in 1980, food and even a big bag of groceries. But now in 2025, our youth with 5,000 naira cannot buy anything. Like, if he wants to buy a clothes, he can't buy the original clothes, he will buy a clothes. He will buy one spoon of rice, one spoon of stew, and half bag of groceries. So this is the life we are living now, because everything is getting hard for we the youth. And mind you, it is not your fault. It is because we fall into this system that is more centralized, that doesn't give us the right to choose what we want, but it dictates for us and get liberated from this system. And as you can see, since 1948 to 1972, we tend to work very high and earn very low. So this is the productivity rate, the rate at which we as a youth have to work like this, and this is what we tend to earn. But this is for outside countries, it is not for us. So in Nigeria, you will work 7 to 7, you will get paid 15,000. Knows the truth, that has a skill, that understand how it works, are the only youth that can stand out in this system. And that's why it's very difficult for us to survive. So, a solution I'm suggesting is Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a solution that no one talks about. So there are different solutions to this system, but the one I'm bringing to you is more of like a decentralized, like a system that gives you the power and the chance to do whatever you want to do. And before I enter what I want to say, if you have encountered Bitcoin, or if someone have told you Bitcoin, they tend not to tell you Bitcoin the way you should know. They can present it for you as a scam format, or as this or as that. So, for what you have heard about Bitcoin, I want you to clear your mind, because this is like a new and the right knowledge about this technology or this protocol.